Welcome back to FM Storey. We're into the second half of season 12 of the South American Glory Hunt, and it started disastrously with our exit from the Copa do Brazil at the first time of asking, despite winning the first leg 4-1 after waiting over a season for our first game in the competition with Atletico Mineiro. We have been looking all season for another job, but despite that, somehow we're currently top of the league table and we're in the quarterfinals of the Copa Libertadores. So without further ado, let's get into the action. We are almost at the end of August, and we've got the second leg of the quarterfinal of the Copa Libertadores coming up. We've played 2 games since the end of the last episode. The first of which was the first leg of the quarterfinal, where we won 4-1 at home against Instituto. A couple of early goals from Aurelio and Negredo. Aurelio had another one after the half hour. They pulled a goal back, but Misamar Silva popped up with a late goal to give us a 3-goal advantage going into the second leg. Hopefully not an omen, because when we went out at the Copa do Brazil, we won the first leg 4-1 and then went out on penalties. And then we've played a league game since then. We lost 2-1 away at Palmeiras. We weren't great. We took the lead early on and then we tired and they got stronger as the game went on. But going into the second leg, we've got a fairly strong squad available. We're missing Mateusão, who's out injured, who wouldn't have started anyway, probably. But we do also have Vladimir available to play in the centre of defence, who has played 1 game for us, which was the first leg of the quarterfinal. Obviously, that was the signing we made in the last episode where we didn't really pay attention to the rules. And because he's played more than 7 games for Bahia in the first half of the season, he's not eligible to play in the league, so he's only going to be available for the Copa Libertadores. So hopefully for his sake, we can progress into the semi-final. So this is the side we've picked for the away leg here. We've gone with Vladimir, as you said, in the centre of defence because he's fresh. Pontes has dropped to the bench. We may actually be on the verge of losing Pontes because Sevilla have a couple of hours before the game triggered the minimum fee release clause in his contract. We do have Ndondo back on the bench. He hasn't played since the first leg of the last round of the Copa Libertadores, and when he picked up an injury, he's not fit enough to play more than 45 minutes, so he's there on the bench if we need to bring him on for a goal threat in the second half. So throwing our half, Garcia back to Vladimir, across to Perez. They're giving him plenty of time on the ball. Niagu finds Lima, who turns well, and he's got space to move into. He wins it back as well. And Celso into Silva. Aurelio Landazuri, Negredo's in the box. It's a lovely turn, a lovely finish. And that is the perfect start. Increase the aggregate lead to 4. I mean, Silva does brilliantly there. Finds Aurelio. Landazuri plays it through. The turn and touch from Negredo to get it out of his feet. And then he fires it past the keeper to make it 1-0 on the night. Right, their keeper's gone long. Celso's missed his header and they're in behind him. Pulled back a long way. But now they've got space on the right here. And we cut the cross off and made him shoot, basically. And Felipao turns it behind for a corner. And we've managed to get that one clear. It's going to come back at us though on the edge of the box. He's driven into the box brilliantly. And thankfully, it goes wide of the post. Right, a corner for them. We've got a head on it again, but it's free on the edge of the box for them. Decent finish. And we're back to where we were at the start of the second leg. 3-goal advantage for us. just free man on the edge of the box, takes a touch. We can't get out to him quick enough and just bends it into the corner. Garcia swings the ball in. It's headed clear. Lima puts it back in. And now they're looking to break. It's got out, though. Eventually Silva brings it under control. Aurelio finds Landazuri from the edge of the box. He drills it along the ground into the back of the net. 2-1 on the stroke of half-time on the night. 6-2 on aggregate, and we should hopefully be in a pretty strong position here. So Silva just tidies it up, finds Aurelio. He finds the run of Landazuri, who takes the touch and just fires from distance and catches the keeper by surprise. And we're in a strong position going into half-time here. Oh, but a late corner for them, right at the end of injury time. We've got a head on it, but it's going to come back again. I mean, we basically just gave them that. We didn't close anyone down once the ball went out. And then we didn't get out quick enough. And then when it comes back to the corner take, we just let him walk basically towards the goal. So there we are, half-time, 2-2 on the night, 6-3 up on aggregate. We're still in a really strong position, but we need to be a bit tidier at the back. Right, we sent the same team at the start of the second half. It's not going to be long before we're making changes because Aurelio's going to need to come off. But I think that might precipitate a bit of a switch in emphasis and formation. In fact, Aurelio's had to come off injured anyway. Right, so we've dropped another defensive midfielder in there to play in a much more defensive fashion, and hopefully that should solidify us a bit going forward, going in the game. Lima finds Garcia. Garcia blocked behind for a corner. And Negredo's across to take it. In swinger towards the near post. It's headed up in the air. Perez finds Niagu, comes back off the woodwork. There's a block of a shot there. And now we need to race back because they're breaking clear. Thankfully, we slowed them down a bit to get some bodies back. And then Celso tidies it up at the back. Right, we've made some more substitutions to get some fresh legs on just to see this tie out. I think at this stage, we shouldn't be conceding 3 more goals here. Vladimir to Nick Silva. Nathaniel Garcia finds Niagu. Through to Ndondo, who is about 5 miles offside. The ball's been lumped into the box. It's headed clear by Nandinho. And they've low cross this time, hammered clear. It's going to come back at us again though. Chipped up, and Felipao comes and claims that easily. And then he just launches it long, and it's just going to come straight back at us. I mean, that was far too easy. How the hell? What are we doing? We've now got, from the kickoff, and this suggests that they're going to get another chance, I would imagine. Vladimir into Nick Silva. Mizamar Silva out to Celso. Niagu looks to find Nandinho on the left. He's in acres of space into Mizamar Silva. Wide for Celso. Plays it into the box, and there's Ndondo. This time I don't think he's offside. He's put it in the back of the net. And it's been given. So Mizamar Silva out to Celso in loads of space. He takes a couple of touches and then just plays it in. Ndondo gets his run right in front of the defender, fires past the keeper, and makes it 3-3. just timed that really well. And there we go, full time, 3-3 on the night, 7-4 on aggregate, and we're into the semi-final of the Copa Libertadores. And we're playing against the winner of the Millonarios and Nacional semi-final. The second leg finished 1-0 to Millonarios. I don't know what the first leg was, but I think when you see the semi-final draw, we actually got the better of the draws. So hopefully there's a pretty decent chance we make it to the final of the Copa Libertadores this season. We've made it to the middle of October and we've got the first leg of the semi-final of the Copa Libertadores. We're at home against Millonarios. By and large, since the second leg of the quarterfinal, things have gone pretty well, but there has been quite a bit of transfer activity at the end of the transfer window. So when we went into that second leg of the quarterfinal, we had said that Sevilla had triggered the release clause in Vanderlei Pontes' contract, so he's gone. Rogerio Zangrandi, who was a young striker, didn't really hit the mark in the first team, so he's gone as well. And then unfortunately Celso, who had become our first choice right back and actually became vice captain after Pontes left, had his release fee triggered by Sporting and Benfica, and in the end he signed for Sporting for 4.2 million. In terms of the incomings, we brought in 2 players on deadline day, losing Pontes with the problems we had with the registration of Vladimir meant that we were short of centre-halves. So the first deal we did, we went to Brentford to bring in one of our young players that we lost last season to a minimum fee release clause. It cost us more to get him back than it did for him to leave in the first place. But he's come in as a real quality addition to that central defensive area. And then we went to Porto and picked up Lucas Daniel on a loan deal until the end of the season. That was done right at the very end of the transfer window. He's come in. He can play in the defensive midfield role as well, but his main role is just coming in to be a backup in the centre-half area so that we don't have to rely on the aging players in the squad who are on their way out at the end of the season in Relpe and Gustavo Martins. So after the second leg of the quarterfinal, we won 2-0 at home against Bragantino. We then won 1-0 away at Vasco da Gama before we were pretty much outplayed by Juventud, although they did score in the 90th and the 94th minute. That has been a problem throughout the season, us conceding late goals. But we bounced back with a 4-1 victory against Coritiba. We beat Curitiba 5-3, having been down 3 times in that game. We came on strong in the second half. And then in the most recent league game, we won 2-0 at home against Fluminense. A goal from Thato and Dondo again in that game. Unfortunately, he's now picked up another injury. According to his profile, he's not injury prone, but he plays a couple of games and then seems to pick up an injury. And then we've also, in the midst of that run of games, been missing players at various points for international duty, one of which was Ndondo. So hopefully coming into this game against Millonarios, we're in decent form. We're missing some players through injury. So we're missing Dimas, who would be first choice right back without Celso. We're missing Santiago Garcia, who's our first choice left back. And we're missing Ndondo, who would probably be our first choice centre forward, as well as missing Gustavo Martins, who we've brought players in so that he wouldn't have to play in the first place. They have a few players out injured as well. So hopefully we can take advantage of the home advantage and put ourselves in a strong position for the second leg. So this is the side we've picked for the home leg. Obviously, we've got those issues in the team. So Beraldo's slotted across the right back to replace Celso. Nandinho's coming at left back instead of Garcia. Vladimir, because he can only play in the Copa Libertadores this season, comes in and partners Perez in the centre of the defence. And Negredo comes back into the starting lineup with Ndondo missing out through injury. So they're playing a 4-3-3 against our sort of narrower 4-3-3. Try to play the ball over the top. Perez cuts it out, finds Nick Silva into Lima with some time and some space to drive forward, finds Lanzuri, Negredo in the box, fires it home, and that is the perfect start to the semi-final tie. 3 minutes on the clock and we've gone in front. Lima just had all the time in the world to bring that forward. Finds Lanzuri, who then finds Negredo, who's able to finish first time from the penalty spot and make it 1-0. Right, Perez cuts out another ball forward. Now Vladimir finds Lanzuri. Vladimir out to Nandinho. Lanzuri finds Marco Aurelio, who's been pretty quiet so far in this first half. Niagu to Perez. They're giving us a lot of time on the ball at the back. Silva now into Lima. Negredo made a great run. Whether he's... I think at first glance he looks well offside because the defender doesn't go with him. We've knocked the ball around at the back. Vladimir then goes into Silva, who turns, finds Lima, who helps it on first time. And again, Negredo gets it out of his feet and then smashes it past the keeper for 2-0. He's judged that really well as well. The defender on that side had pushed out and the other one hadn't. Right, a throw for them in our half. Cross into the back post. Nandinho got beaten at the back post. It comes back off that post. And we managed to clear the danger. And there we are, half-time, 2-0 up. Pretty decent first half, that. Hopefully we can continue with more of the same in the second half and give ourselves a strong position going into the second leg. Right, we've not made any changes at half-time. We've got the ball at the back here with Perez. He's giving it away, looking for Lima, and now they're attacking. They've just driven into the box, and thankfully, that was straight at Felipao. That would have been the worst way possible to start the second half. Nandinho on the left now, in to Lanzuri. Niagu with a great turn, and what a finish. And there we go, 3-0. Like from almost conceding at the other end, we've gone up the other end and made the lead 3-0. And as long as we don't get complacent, we're in a very strong position to make it to the final of the Copa Libertadores. Right, free kick for them in a central position, over the wall, off the woodwork, and the rebound. It looks like it just hit him and goes in, but it flew in, so it must have been a decent finish. And that's the advantage, cut to 2 goals. It was crashing back off the crossbar. It's a decent finish. None of our players reacted. And from the kickoff, Silva finds Aurelio. Nandinho. Back to Aurelio. Lima approaching the edge of the box. And he got underneath it and puts it over the top. Right, we've made some changes to get some fresh legs on for the last 20 minutes. Caligari finds Nathaniel Garcia. Caligari cutting in field. Out to Vladimir, who's now playing at left back. Gets to the byline. Crosses straight into the keeper's hands. But the referee's pointed to the spot for some reason. I don't know why. We've been given a penalty for something, but no idea what it was that we've got it for. It's Nathaniel Garcia stepping up to take it, and the keeper saves it, and it stays at 3-1. From the corner, Caligari to take it. Outswinger deep, but the keeper comes a long way and claims it. Right, a free kick for them. Lifted into the box. We've got a head on it. We've then bottled a challenge on the edge of the box. And that's a screamer of a finish. And that's 3-2. Just hit it first time. And we are not in the strong position we were hoping for going into that the second leg, and it potentially could get worse before it finishes here. 5 minutes of injury time to be played. And there we are, full time, 3-2. I mean, at least we've got an advantage, but that second half was, I mean, certainly from when we went 3-0 up, the last 40 minutes were dreadful. We've gifted them ways back into that game, and we should have been outside. And now we're going to the second leg, with a 1-goal advantage, but we're away from home. It's going to be a tough task to make it into the final of the Copa Libertadores. And there we are, the end of another episode, and things are going relatively well. Obviously, our only aim with Atletico Mineiro was the Copa do Brazil, and we went out in the first round. But we're top of the league. We've got a 1-goal advantage going into the second leg of the semi-final of the Copa Libertadores. So join us next time to see if we can win the league, see if we can make it into the Copa Libertadores final or even win it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.